Would
What?
you consider an individual such as Serena Williams or Tiger Woods, who their sport is an individual, like boxing, MMA, would you consider those people to be considered in the GOAT debate? Or do you reserve the GOAT debate for people on teams?
So, I mean, the GOAT debate's stupid regardless
True.
because every generation is better than the last generation, anyways.
Hmm.
It's like because Jordan made basketball so much more popular, the ball more people played it. You start developing better training techniques, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like, so obviously LeBron James is a better player than Michael Jordan was, but Michael Jordan did more for basketball probably. So you can't even compare the same sport. How the fuck do I compare someone winning tennis to NBA championships?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But I mean, if
Um,
you're gonna do it, I think you can do it. You gotta reserve it for team sports and single person sports for single
Keep
person
it in two
sports.
different categories then.
Because LeBron can only control what he can control. Like he made it to so many finals, but he couldn't win because he's the only player.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's like you gotta look at who they're going up against too. So I know that like we had talked about like nowadays, like all the leagues are more competitive,
Yeah.
right? Like you had Bill Russell, 11 championships. I think he went to the finals 11 times or 12 times or whatever it was.
Well,
Um,
and they're all leagues are more competitive, but basketball's still the same as we're the same people or teams dominating and winning all the time.
mhm. Yeah. Um, LeBron James. So I think, in my opinion, as it stands right now, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. And that's before he retires. And I personally believe that you cannot be GOAT until you're retired.
No,
Because
you
you never
can't.
know
You
what's going to happen the
contradicted
next.
yourself.
I know, but this is like two different terminologies though, where it's like if I had to, I would say he is going to be the greatest of all time once he's retired. But I'm not going to give him that title because he's not retired. He's still playing, right? Like if he goes out there tomorrow with a gun and shoots 3 people on the court, he's not in my GOAT conversation anymore. I'm sorry. like,
But why does that have to affect what he did on the court?
because I think when you talk about the GOAT debate, and I think Michael Jordan is a perfect example of
Do
this,
it.
it's not necessarily what they do on the court, though, it's what they do off the court. That has to be a factor involved at least.
Does it though? I
I
don't
think
think
so.
so.
I think so. Because if we're doing that, then Michael Jordan shouldn't be the GOAT because all he has to his name is 6 championships and you can score like a motherfucker. It's like if
And
you're
the
talking about
Jordan
that,
brand.
oh,
Oh, you're talking
off the
about
court though.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's an off
Yeah,
court.
but then LeBron has less championships.
But if we're only talking about on court accomplishments, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be my GOAT.
But then again, you can still relate it to how shitty the competition was back then.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Man, when you watch that Jordan documentary, you realize how bad some people were that were in the NBA. Like
Hmm.
some of the basketball being played is awful.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it was ridiculous, man. Just like, oh, it's a white kid, sign him. He hit threes. Oh, Steve Kerr, sure, sign him.
Like there was some awful basketball back then.
So, all said and done, who is your top three in no particular
Top
order?
three.
In no particular order.
Well, okay, so the fact that Tom Brady has more Super Bowl wins than any other franchise in the NFL, I'm pretty sure that's a stat.
Yeah, it is.
He also has more Super Bowl MVP trophies than any other QB has won Super Bowls, which, so right there, greatest quarterback all time, no question, if ands or buts about it.
Hmm.
And the fact that he's made almost 50% of Super Bowl seasons, how much he wins by, he's proven he can go to another team and still win. Only the second quarterback to ever do that.
Hmm.
I don't understand how he's not greatest of all time. LeBron James, I would say second. Third, I don't know. I would say Wayne Gretzky just because how dominant he was.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about Wayne
And
Gretzky,
but like
honestly.
back then too, he still played in an area where goalies were wearing fucking oven mitts for protection. Like
Hmm.
so it's hard.
the Nets were so much like the Nets just seemed so much bigger, you
The
know.
goalies didn't go down in a butterfly position. They literally stood on their feet the whole time and threw their pads up in the air. Like,
Mhm.
yes, he was good. Obviously, he fucking if you took away all of his goals, he'd still have the most points in NHL history. So there's no question about he's the most dominant player ever, especially his era.
Mhm.
But it's the same thing with Jordan, where it's the level of competition was not there.
That's fair. Um, so I guess I'll do my top three then. So number one, LeBron James. All said and done. All said and
What
done. If
what puts
after he's
LeBron
retired,
James ahead of Tom Brady for you?
I think LeBron James is going to have two more championships before he retires. He'll hit 6, which is like a big thing in
But he's gonna
basketball.
win one at 43.
See, my thing with LeBron James is for his first 10 years, he proved that he could, like their first few years in Cleveland, that he was able to take a crappy team to the finals.
He could take anyone to the fucking finals.
You know what I mean? Like he took that shitty Cleveland Cavaliers to the championship. LeBron James had no help for the first 6 years of his career.
See, if LeBron James was smart, he would have sucked for a couple years, got a couple of the draft picks on his team to help him out.
See, and I think the biggest thing with Tom Brady is he had help around him. Like it wasn't just
Well,
Tom Brady leading these teams.
but that
He had help around him. LeBron James had help in Miami. He had great teams in Miami. He had great teams in
oh
Cleveland.
yeah,
He has a
for
great
sure.
team in LA as well too. But at the end of the day, nobody has dominated quite like LeBron James in a league that's determined a lot by a lot can happen within an NBA league. Granted, NFL is a one game and done. So like there's a lot that
Yeah,
happen there as well too though. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's only on the court or on the field for half the time. LeBron James is on the
but
court the whole
to be
time.
fair, like basketball is probably the only major sport where one player can carry you. Football, you just witnessed it the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Battle line, doesn't matter how good of a fucking player you are. Patrick Mahomes is sideways, slinging balls, hitting people in the face mask, parallel to the field, running around for his life, and couldn't win the game.
And I think
Doesn't matter how good you are in football.
that supports my opinion. Is Tom Brady's had a good team around him to get him to those championship games. Yes, he has performed. Yes, he has done what he's needed to. Yes, he's been consistent. Yes, he's 43 years old and still balling. But at the end of the day, it's not just the individual, it's everybody around. LeBron James, no matter what team he's gone to, he's always been the guy, whether it's with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, whether it's with Anthony Davis,
Yeah, but
you know.
Tom Brady still also like maybe not this year with his stacked offense, but the last couple years in New England, he's been the guy. Like he hadn't had
That's fair.
much help on offense. He had Edelman, but like it's not like he had a fantastic team that was good defense. But in the NFL, you can't have one person carry you. It doesn't work. It's not
Mhm.
taught. There's too many people on the field.
Yeah, that's fair.
Basketball, you can have that.
Yeah. And I don't know. I look at the competition LeBron has had to face, and it's not like he's had to play, like shitty competition in the finals and then lost. The only one finals I would say that you can blame him where he's like, hey, you know what? That should not have happened was that first Miami Heat Dallas Mavericks series when Dallas took
You
him down.
can't have that.
Everything
Can't
else
have
he's
that.
been an underdog in. Minus last year's, I'm pretty sure. Everything else he's been an underdog in. He had to take on the Golden State Warriors when they were the best team ever. He
Yeah.
took them down 3-1. He came back 3-1 in the NBA Finals and won. Like that's
It
ridiculous.
was fantastic. Look at that. LeBron's a close second for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It all just for me, I watched a lot more of LeBron James, so I have that more
I don't watch a
feelings,
lot of
more
Tom
emotions
Brady.
attached to it, right? But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, LeBron James has been to an NBA Finals like what 10 out of the last 11 years, whatever it is now,
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. Something
12.
stupid at the
That
ridiculous
is
number.
domination. If he didn't get fucked over by Cleveland in the first 6 years of his career, imagine like finally he's in a situation where he's not fucked when Anderson Varejos, or whatever I pronounce his last name, is your center, and Delonte West is your shooting guard. And Mo Williams is your point guard.
What a stud team.
The second he lost that team, he's gone to the finals. And like Tom Brady, 10 out of 21 seasons. That's ridiculous. But LeBron James is 11 out of 17 seasons.
But again, I think it just shows how much easier also because it's the same players and same teams doing it over and over in the NBA. NFL is different all the time, minus Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the only constant in the Super Bowl.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, because Tom Brady was playing the Super Bowl when Kurt Warner was quarterback. He's playing the Super Bowl when Patrick Mahomes is quarterback, and leading that team. That's a fair point.
I'm pretty sure there's people playing in the NFL that weren't even alive when Tom Brady won his fucking first Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's fair. So I think
either way, they're both fantastic. There's no
at the end of the day, for me, though, the determining factor is what happens in the next few years. Is LeBron James going to play till he's 43?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but you never know.
Just because, but I feel if he wanted to, he might be able to. But he quarterback, you don't have. It's not that physically demanding of a position.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting hit once in a while, but he's not running around up and down the court all the time.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day too, when you think about the GOAT debate, you have to take in athleticism. At least a bit. LeBron James kicks.
Well, if we're going off athleticism, Lamar Jackson's the GOAT, baby. Okay, have you seen that guy's movement on the field?
That's true. I've seen him in Madden 21. He fucking knowing to play against.
You can't even beat him.
No. One other thing too that I would like to add to LeBron James' legacy is LeBron James has done a lot more off the court than Tom Brady has done off the court.
What do you mean? TV12, baby? Avocado ice cream. Let's get it.
But anyways, though, close debate. At the end of the day, all said and done, once they're retired. I'm not.
Okay, you know what? You know what settles this debate? Look at Tom Brady's wife.
Yeah, true. LeBron James, man. Come on, bro.
Giselle?
That's my high school sweetheart. Oh, she's so hot.
Oh, so remember when you said if he came on the court and shot people, he would be out of the conversation? What if I meant to ask this earlier, somehow we got sidetracked and forgot.
Surprise.
What a surprise. If it came out LeBron James Floyd Mayweathered his wife and beat the shit out of her, how would that change your decision? He actually had to serve time in jail, a couple months or something.
Yeah, stuff like that would definitely affect my opinion on him. And it's like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant got caught up in that stuff as well too, right? Granted, for him, he was able to go from his quote unquote hood rat days, right? And then he was able to transform it into something. He took it as a learning example. But if this would have come out now at that age, and I'd be oh, okay, never mind. You're a little fuck, right? You know what I mean? Kobe Bryant at least had the time to sweep it underneath the rug. As bad as that sounds.
Bro, no one talked about that shit for ever. And then I seen it brought up when he died. People were bringing it up. He was a terrible person. Hey, the guy just died. Fuck off.
Literally, man. I don't know. I don't want to get in that whole debate because at the end of the day, there's so many opinions, so many different things that could happen. It's just
I still feel though at the end of the day, what you do off the court, it shouldn't necessarily take away your accomplishment on the court. Obviously, you shouldn't be celebrated if you're a shitty person, but
to an extent, yeah.
You shouldn't be celebrating. People shouldn't say, "Oh yeah, this guy's an awesome guy." No, quite a piece of shit, but still great. Floyd Mayweather, literally went to jail for beating his wife. People still fucking love watching him box because he's the greatest boxer of all time.
That's fair.
Terrible person.
Terrible person, douchebag. And I think with regards to off court behavior, if you have a good behavior, a good reputation off the court, it helps your case. But if you don't have a good reputation, it just doesn't.
If you're well liked.
Yeah, it just it doesn't necessarily boost. LeBron James, his legacy's left off the court has boosted what he's done. But if he was just an asshole and prick, James Harden, going to the strip club, throwing money on, doing that stuff.
Hey, he's just. Why does that make him a dick? He's just enjoying his life. He has money.
That's fair. I'm doing the
What
same
would
thing.
you be doing?
Same thing, man. Same thing. But I think it's just when they don't do anything, it just doesn't add. It's a neutral. You know what I mean? It's not like it brings them down as an athlete. It just doesn't affect them. It's just nothing you discuss. It's
Yeah.
nothing you bring up to add on.
Yeah. Okay, so who's your second and third?
So second, Tom Brady.
Okay.
My third, this is wild card. I'm going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's not that big of a wild card. People call him the GOAT.
Yeah, and I think if you look at raw stats and you look at what somebody accomplished in their career, I think he is the greatest. Because I hate the when people say, well, LeBron James or Michael Jordan never lost in the NBA Finals. It's like, so why do you penalize somebody for making it to the finals and losing? Like, why is it better for you to lose in the second round, third round?
Because if you win the finals, you're the best. If not, you're not the best.
Yeah, but if you're not
How
in the
many
finals,
championships does Abdul-Jabbar have?
6,
Okay.
he is 6-10 in the
So
NBA
yeah, if you're
Finals. He went
tied,
to the NBA.
if you're tied with someone, then I'd say yeah, whoever's made it more, obviously.
Yeah, well, and then so like he 20-year career, he's leading the league in points. You know, he has 38,000 points.
Yeah.
He averaged
He had a
11.2
100-point game
rebounds.
for fuck's sakes.
That's Wilt Chamberlain, you
Oh
stupid
fuck.
motherfucker.
Same shit. Bunch of tall, lanky black guys.
Literally. You know, like he had 10 NBA final appearances, 5-time all NBA defensive. Big thing though here, 3-time NCAA champion.
Yeah, he dominated in college.
You know what I mean? So
you really like that college stat, hey?
I think you have to look at that. Look at Tom Brady. He has his championship from
Michigan.
Yeah, was that a national championship or was that just like a bowl?
I don't know. I didn't know he had what was it? Well,
I don't know. He won something, I thought. But
I don't think
I
he
don't
won
know.
a national championship. But like,
Yeah.
but to be fair though, too, it's also some people. I guess for the most part, like all superstars, minus Tom Brady, they're good at college. But some people like Tom Brady, you could say, are late sprouters.
That's fair.